dogs so much, and I had just had a really hard time with this dog, Lovita. My girl, Lovie, who a homeless guy reached out to us and said that a dog he was taking care of had been beaten with a tire iron, and her leg wasn't healing. And so he entrusted me to take her. We tried to help him, but he didn't want to change. He was okay with his life. He lived like an auto body had like a side area where he lived, and I'd take Lova to see him. It was funny. I was trying to learn her name, and he was like Loba or something, and I kept going Lova. and he'd be like Loba, like a ba, and I'd be like Lova. And I'm like, can I also call her Lovita? Like Lovita, I can remember that. And such a sweet man, and she was trying to be so stoic. She was a street dog, She didn't want the McDonald's I picked up for her. I was not that relevant to her yet. She had to learn to trust me, and she taught me that you can love your life even if those apologies don't ever come to you. If everything's unfair, you can be strong and get up in the morning instead of getting up at 5 p.m. in the afternoon like I've been doing. And she had pain, and she lived, we addressed it, but eventually she had we had to take the leg off, and she had a week later she was diagnosed with osteocarcinoma, and that moves really fast. And so when I had the vet come to my house, it was just me and the dogs to say goodbye to her outside, and I always play a song. It's funny, I noticed you follow Brett Dennen, That's My Dog song. I had used that with my first rescue dog, Sage. But with Lova, I think it's just almost too traumatic. I can't remember the song. Oh, I'm Coming Home. And that's like, home. Home is like what I build. I build everything around that. That's my job. That's my privilege that's my job, and that's the best blessing I had from my parents. And so she fought the euthanization. She cried and howled and wailed for her life, I thought. And and Patrick was curled up inside her, and Turtle Dove, my big old pit bull, Mama, was there, and I had just found Jasper on the freeway, and no one would foster him, and so I had Jasper, and I really didn't want to bring a new dog in when my Alpha wasn't feeling well, but he knew to stay below her. He knew, so those last days I fed her sushi with chopsticks and fried chicken, and we had a party with a cake for her. But she fought that so much. She fought the euthanization, and it really, 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 maybe it triggered old memories of watching my mom's pain. I'm not sure, but and this vet's really good. She uses all the state of the art ways to first help her be calm, and all of the stuff that makes it really good. And I had to play I'm Coming Home. I mean, it played 6 times before she let go, and I still can't really get over that memory. And then a little later, I had to say goodbye to Turtle Dove, and Turtle was my sunshine. I don't know if you're ever going to want to see my face again after this long video, but I'll I'll send you. You got, I mean, if you love dogs, and I can tell you do. I took her to a suicide prevention walk, and they were cheering because they, it was they had signs for the people who had passed, and they were singing a chant, like there were cheerleaders singing a song about like, well, nobody wants me to sing, but I'm gonna try to, like, it was something like, "We are proud of you, yes, we are proud of you," and they clap, and like my big old wiggly manatee dog thought that was for her, and so, and then they ended up surrounding her and singing it to her and petting her, and this is the underdog of underdogs, like the most gigantic tank of a pit bull with the most horrifically cropped ears, overbred to the point of, they said that's, likely linked to the mammary cancer that took her, in her beginning. She was bred, and I think probably for at least 6 years, maybe 7, and dumped. And talk about a fun dog and a loving dog. I'd be stopped and I asked if she was a gaudy dog, if she was a bullet head, or if they could have her next litter of puppies. And but she was a lot of fun, and I mean, she looked so tough, but she was so sweet. And my dad was there one of the time I got her, you get that call, we have to euthanize her. Tomorrow's the 4th. This dog seems good. I had no business bringing such a huge dog into my brand new household, especially with my my persnickety rat terrier that's a senior, and she did so very gracefully. So anyway, with the medium, my mom came through, and he was so specific, and she didn't want to talk about her illness. She specifically needed to help me understand that she's okay. She's okay. She's got the dogs. And stop sending me dogs. I have enough dogs up here. He talked just like her, and he's totally gay. He's flamboyant. He's he's like that perfect best friend you want, and my mom, my mom was mischievous like me, like she was fun, and she managed a styling store, product store, and her best friend there, Hector, was super duper gay, and we'd go like across the state line to Gamble and Wendover, and they'd pierce our ears and dye our hair. And so when I was trying to explain what happened, because here I had really given up on anything. I'm like, I don't really think there's anything next. Like, that's what people tell themselves, that there is something next. Mark's family had recently said to me, which pretty insensitive, that Christians believe in fairy tales. And I was like, well, there's a nicer way to put that. I've been respectful of you guys. I actually went with his father on a 10-day silent meditation, Vipassana. Hey, you don't have to cry. I will take you out. And 10-day of silent meditation with his dad, and he's really the one I relate best to. But let's show some respect, but so like after that, and luckily we got it on video, it just didn't feel real, and it sounds so small, but when you really stopped believing in anything, everything, yeah, words are hard when you haven't slept. But so I got there just in time before my dad passed away. He wanted to see his friends, so he was in Utah, and real quick, to see them. And anyhow, my sister wanted to be the one that they let into the hospital, even though she never even would visit to begin with. And I mean, it's better to have me be the one, because I'm gonna actually stay there, pay attention to everything, talk to the doctors, make friends if I need to, you know, have a crush on a hot surgeon, whatever it is. I'm gonna move in and make it ours, because I needed to protect him. And to make a long, super ass long story, God, I'm sorry, it's long. All right, so I one thing that I loved was I got to be the one. I got there on time. I mean, that's why your song "We're on Time" was like, holy shit, because I had only been listening to that one, Love Letters to God. That was the one. Especially, man, especially all of it. And so my sister didn't really tell me until we had a conference call with the doctors. He had a blockage in his stomach. He had had colon cancer years prior. My dad's a tough guy. And so the doctor was saying, like, I don't think, you know, he's gonna, it really happened quick. They weren't really telling me a lot. And so I live in Huntington. The airport's in, it's in Santa Ana. You know, it's about a 30-minute drive if you're not going 140. And you know, I was like, the minute I heard he might not make it through the day, I just grabbed my purse and got my car and drove. It was like, I can't even tell you how fast, you know, I can't remember. And I had you on like a mix or something, and We're on Time came on there. And I mean, I'm begging them. I left my house and the plane was leaving in 50 minutes, I think. I mean, I had to cry and beg my way onto that plane. And I mean, I've never run so fast. I've never had so many people stand behind me and say, let her through. Like, let her through. It was just strange. The kindness of strangers has been amazing. But I got to hold his hand, and I got that time with him. Oh, and you know what? I had texted my cousin. I have a cousin who's also, we have stories, but well, I had texted him in the middle of the night, will you be there when the Giants come? Because I had been listening to that, and I was, you know, I was so scared. Because, I mean, for this whole year, the whole year was just touch and go, you know, and some really beautiful breakthrough moments and some really hard moments. And I was feeling scared, and yeah, and his reply was, well, shit, I hope so. And so when I did get there, my cousins, I was raised with a lot of cousins. My dad is such a patient man. I mean, it's all daughters, and then all the cousins are women, are daughters of his, basically. They all think they're his fourth daughter, except for John. He's the boy, and the male cousin. And my cousins had kind of set themselves up in different spots in the hospital to get me right up there to my dad. And you know, they let me be alone with him in the room, but John came in a few times to hug me from behind and to talk about to my dad more how much we love him. And you know, I held his hand, and I got to say, like, you know, Dad, I'm not like the wacky Christian agey people, you know that, you know, because my dad never did like switch from being Catholic. And I'm like, I'm not a holy roller. I'm not like my sisters out there, you know. And I said, but I know where you're going, and I'm excited for you. You know, you're going home. You're going home, Dad. And And I gotta tell you, I really know. I don't know the specifics, but I know where you're going. And I got to hold his hand, and I feel like he parented me till the very end. They were saying, you know, he's waiting for you. He's waiting for you. And that's what a dad does. You know, they protect you. And he protected me till that last minute, because I don't know if I'd survived if I didn't get a chance to be there with him, so he wasn't alone. And so anyway, so I've only listened to you for about a year only. I mean, yes, I've only in total listened. This has been the only year I've known about you, but I mean, I haven't listened to anyone else unless it's Dad's music, you know, Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson, Creedence Clearwater. Willie has a really good My Way, you know. We got lucky with the funeral. My sisters tried to not let me know, or they really did. I was the executor of his will and all of his wishes, and they were not acknowledging that. Luckily, I went to high school with the guy that owns the Irish funeral home, and always played pickup games with him after school. And I don't think I went to any of the dances with him, but I know he was with one of our groups and he drove a hearse, you know, and they did the most amazing job. And this is COVID, you know. We had the most beautiful graveside ceremony with bagpipes, and we had an evening, you know, one at this Irish funeral home. It's called Stark's. If you ever die in Utah, or someone you know does. Let's see. Oh, I lit my hair on fire on accident that night. John knocked something over, and there were candles, and I bent down to pick it up, and I had been so exhausted. I had my hair up, and I had used my aunt's hairspray, and poof, the room's on fire. It ended up being a night of gratitude and celebration, and us being us, you know. And so since I've been back, I've been alone, you know. The chaos it's gone, and I was